Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly videos. If you've never been here before, my name is Sarah and I make videos on self-development and faith-based content. And a lot of the times I just share my thoughts with you guys, different revelations I've had, and so let's get into it. So for this video for today, I wanted to talk to you guys about a revelation that I've had that I have been working through, and I believe it's the reason why so many of us are unhappy. And this message is derived from a sermon by Dan Mohler, and I'll put his YouTube below. Basically the core message is derived from a message that I got from him, and then I'm kind of sharing with you guys my take on it and how it has been working in my own life and just how I'm working through it. Okay, so the message is that the reason why so many of us are unhappy is because we wake up every day living for ourselves. Let's just be honest, we live in a society that everything is self-serving. It's all focused on what serves us, what's good for us, how much wealth and success we can accumulate, how much beauty we can accumulate. And that's not just in the aspect of business and wealth and beauty and all of those things. It's also even in what society calls self-care. So self-care ends up being selfish. Self-development ends up being self-serving. There's this quote, I could have looked it up, gonna get it wrong, but it's something along the lines of, when something or someone does not serve you anymore, then you walk away from that. Everything is about us. It's about me. It's all self-serving. And another thing that I personally realized in my life about that is that the more that I would see like what else I wanted to accomplish or what else I wanted, the more that it would have me focus on my lack. So I was constantly focusing on what I didn't have, and it would put a magnifying glass on that. And I mean, that's what society does anyways. It is putting a magnifying glass on what we don't have, because that's how things are sold. That's how the beauty industry works. And also what I want to say is that there's nothing wrong with success and with wealth and with liking to do hair and makeup and beauty, because I love those things too. But it's very different when it becomes our sole focus. It's different when it becomes an idol in our lives, when it's something that controls us, when we put it above all else. And that includes God, actually especially God. And when we're putting these things first, we are worshiping them as our gods. So yeah, I don't blame any of us for thinking that way, because we're constantly being influenced, whether consciously or subconsciously, that this life is all about us. It's all about everything that we can achieve and be and our happiness. But there is a different message that I want to share that I've realized is this life is not about us. It's not about me. It's not about how good I can look. It's not about how much success and wealth and blah, blah, blah that I can accumulate, and how awesome I can look, even if I'm doing ministry, even if I'm doing charity work or something like that, because that's another thing that we can do out of performance and to look good. And even though it may seem like it is selfless, a lot of the times it is still self-serving. So that's why we always have to be checking in with our hearts, checking our heart posture of the true intentions behind why we are doing something, and always checking in on that. But really what I realized, even though I think with head knowledge I knew this before, but now it's been such a heart transformation of realizing that this life is not about me. It's not about myself and my success and my happiness and all of these things. It's about loving God. It's about loving other people. It's about sharing the good news. It's about shining for God. It's about blessing other people. Of course, we have to have certain boundaries. And so I'm definitely not saying that we should be in toxic relationships or abusive relationships, or that we have to be like a doormat or something like that, because of course we need to be careful in those situations. But I'm going to share with you guys a practical way that I am integrating this, because if you're anything like me, I can listen to something and say that's really cool in theory, but how realistically am I going to apply that? And it's going to look different for everyone. But just as an example, so let's just say someone reaches out to me to collaborate with me on something. It aligns with my morals, it aligns with my values. Maybe it's just like a freebie thing. And the first thing I'm going to think is, how is that going to benefit me? Do I really need this person? Is that going to help my business? Is that going to help my social media? All I'm going to think about, and that's natural, I'm not going to say all of us, but majority of us, I think that is, how is this going to benefit me? And in that situation, let's just say this is where this aligns with my morals and my values, and I'm okay with doing this, but I'm thinking, I don't really need that service, or it's not really going to do much for me, so I'm out. Instead of thinking, maybe God brought this person into my life for a different reason, and it's not about me being blessed, it's about how I can be a blessing to them. That's going to look different for everyone, because we have all been given different gifts and talents and skill sets. So I'll just use an example of something that I believe is a part of my gift, would be maybe like listening skills and communication. So if I know that about myself, especially being in the field of coaching, then I can say, you know what? And by the way, you don't need to be a coach to bless people in this way. Everyone can be a good listener, and everyone can have the gift of exhortation, of encouraging people. And so what I can think in that situation is, maybe I don't need the service, but maybe God put this person in my life for a reason. Maybe when I meet up with this person, they're going to tell me, I'm going to be a safe place for them to tell me about something that's going on in their lives. Maybe I'm going to be an encouragement to them. Maybe I can allow them to feel seen and ask them, what are you most passionate about? Or, what's the best thing that's happened to you this year, or something like that. Instead of thinking it's a waste of my time because I'm not going to get anything out of it. And again, that's going to look different for everyone. So whatever it is that maybe you do this for work, or you do it on the side, or it's a talent or a skill or something that you have, and someone needs your help, or someone wants to meet up with you for coffee or something like that, instead of first thinking, you know what, I should be getting paid for this, or this is a waste of my time, I have the afternoon off, and because this person has nothing to offer me, I'm not going to be meeting up with them, or I'm not going to do them any type of favor. And that's the same with even hanging out with friends, where maybe they want to see a certain movie, or go to a certain restaurant, or go to a concert or something like that. Again, it's not about being a doormat, but it's like, maybe you have a friend who likes different music that you don't like, but it would be a huge blessing to them if you went to this concert with them, even though you don't like that music. Like, just as an example, these are all silly little examples. But basically what I'm saying is that if we can focus on how we can be of service to other people, and we can take our eyes off of ourselves, yes, of course, the first thing we're going to think is, how is this going to serve me? Like, okay, does this thing align with my morals and values? Do I feel safe doing this? Do I feel comfortable doing this? And then thinking, oh, is this going to serve me? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, just put that to the side if that's going to serve me, and think about how that person may have been brought into your life for a bigger purpose. The last thing I'm going to say about that too is even just like random acts of kindness. Again, it's going to look different for everyone how they like to bless people, but something could be like writing little notes of encouragement and giving them to someone at the drive-thru. So you could write like a beautiful scripture, like it could be an encouraging message or a beautiful scripture, like it could be, you are loved forever, Romans 8:38-39, and going through a drive-thru, and instead of thinking like, I hope the coffee is perfect in the way that I like it today, realizing that there's someone who's working there at Starbucks, for an example, behind the counter, who you have no idea what they're going through, and when you go to pay and you hand them a note, you have no idea what you could have done to their day. That could have been some confirmation or some answer that they've been waiting for, and God put you in their life for a reason. And honestly, let's just imagine a world where, as individuals, the first thing that we think of is not, how are you going to serve me? How are you going to make me look better? How are you going to build my business and my reputation and my success and my status? Instead of that, no. How can I bless you? How can I help you? Imagine if we had a world full of world leaders and politicians and managers and just people in society, which is everyone, which is us. We all have that ability to make that difference. And I'm not expecting that the whole world is going to change overnight, but we can change the people around us. We are doing our part if we are changing the people around us. That can be your sister or your coworker, or maybe you have some type of influence on social media, or maybe you're a manager and you have people below you that are working for you. And just in the way that you act, in that way that is that is serving to other people, then you are going to make an impact on that person, and then they are going to start acting the same way and treating other people that way. And just imagine the impact that you make that way. So many people are looking for purpose. We're all looking for, what is the purpose for why I'm here on earth? And the more and more that I'm realizing is that it's very, very simple. It's to love God. It's to love people. It's to share the good news. It's to be an example of Jesus. It's to shine our light for God. And in that, God gives us different skills and different talents. And, we can end up living our dream career, and through that, blessing other people. And at the same time, a lot of people are not going to live their dream career, but they are going to do what they were meant to do. And just a quick example of that, because it can be a job that society views as like a low class job. And I'm not saying this is a low class job, but just for an example, I watched an interview of Stephen Baldwin on I Am Second. And basically he was saying that the way that he was saved is that the lady who cleaned his house was speaking to his wife, and his wife was asking her, why are you always singing these songs about Jesus? And she just laughed and said, you think the reason I'm here is to clean your house. When really she knew it was for a bigger purpose. And so that's the thing, is we're all looking for purpose and, you know, what we're here for. And it's really so much more simple than we think. It allows us to also just take our eyes off of ourselves. It takes our eyes off of our lack. It allows us to be more graceful to other people, to realize that we're all flawed human beings. We're going to experience trouble in this world. And that's even a promise in the Bible that we will experience trouble. We are going to be disappointed by people. We are going to disappoint other people ourselves. It allows us to extend so much more grace, to not put these huge expectations on other people. Again, it's not saying that we don't respect ourselves, that we don't have boundaries, but at the same time, I want to share this message that is just going against what society tells us, which is all about us and self-serving. And the more we focus on that, the more we are going to see our lack, and it is never truly going to be enough. So that's a heart transformation. The more that I've been walking with God, the more that He has been transforming my heart. This is something I could hear with head knowledge and try to apply it, but it's not about willpower. It's not about performance. It's not about doing good works to please God and getting points with God, because that's not how it works. It's doing things because our heart has been transformed and we want to do them. And I hope that this message could resonate with someone. And if you guys like this message, then please share it, and I will see you guys next week.